Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to Dream Career Talk Show. Today, we are on well, we are on the episode number 34 of Dream Career Talk Show. As you all know, Dream Career Talk Show is about building your dream career, which is much beyond getting a job. Here on this show, we are going to have industry experts from various domains who will be sharing their knowledge, their experiences, their challenges, their failures, and success so that it can help others in their career journey. This show is to help corporate professionals expand their context, get clarity, direction, hope, inspiration, and of course, the right steps to build their dream career. Today's topic is how to achieve career growth in the pharma industry. Healthcare industry across the globe is growing, and there have been always good career opportunities in this. What kind of education and skills do you need to have if you have to get into this industry? What is the career growth path and how you can achieve growth faster in this particular domain? Our today's guest, Sakib Khan, comes with over 14 years of experience in the pharma industry. He started as a medical sales rep, grew well in his industry, in the job, and moved to become an entrepreneur, starting his own business in the same industry. So, Sakib, very excited to have you here on the talk show today. Welcome to Dream Career Talk Show.
Thank you so much, Fatah. I'm very much glad that you have invited me as a speaker here on your show. And I was, you know, uh, watching your shows, the past shows, especially the shows with Amit Khanna, Purav. So I actually did like very much about the content you are providing to the audience here on all the social medias. And thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, Sakib. And to start off, why don't we start with your career journey, right? How was your career journey? How did you get started in the pharma industry? Was it by chance, by choice? And how was your career growth? If you want to talk about your career journey, starting from how did you get started?
If I'll start my career journey here with you all is uh, uh, as a medical rep. I have started working since last 2007. I mean, since 2007. But it was by chance career choice because when I passed out from the graduation, uh, there was actually there was a need to for me to enter into a job. And as it was a basic graduation in microbiology, I could not find much other career prospects, as well as the higher degrees which I was looking initially, but couldn't do it because of various reasons. So I entered it by chance in this profession and entered into a very good company called, like, previously known as Ranbexy, and started my career with that company as a medical sales representative. So since then, I have worked in multiple organizations, Indian as well as multinational companies. And since, as I said, there was no clarity for me to enter into something a better, no, not better, but a different set of jobs or professions. But I did choose sales. I don't know why did I choose sales, but it was something inbuilt in me because I used to do a lot of selling in my college as well as during my school days also. So, but after some years passed, when I entered into this career, I did start liking the sales profession in this particular segment of pharmaceutical, because there was so much of value addition, not in terms of business, but in terms of it looking at the patients as such. Because with the right medicines they are getting benefited, as well as you can see it visibly when somebody shares like how how the medicines particularly help them. So I did start liking sales after coming into this profession.
Great. And you said you started in 2000, around 2007, and it was by chance that you got into this, right?
Yes.
And Now you have moved from being an into job, and then you got into
Mhm.
entrepreneurship, right? But so what inspired you to get into like entrepreneurship? And you have been in the same field, by the way, right?
Yeah.
So do you want to talk more about that?
So what inspired me to, because since my initial days into the job, I was always, searching for something which is, which is maybe a wealth creation something. So I was initially searching for that, but I could not take actions because I was the mindset was not clear basically at that point of time. And from this journey of 14 years, I have learned many things about the entrepreneurship, as well as learned multiple things, developed some of the skill sets. I have actually found my clarity as well, what to do and when to do it, how to do it. So that's how, after getting the clarity, it was easier for me to switch from job to an entrepreneurship. And that's how this particular segment, particularly in sales, which it has helped me, to develop business as such, because sales as such, you also know, okay, there are customers, and you need to build the customers, to retain them, you need to that's how it all got started.
And you said you finished your microbiology and then you started this. And I was reading one of your articles on LinkedIn where you had mentioned that you wanted to become a doctor, right? And there are many people who want to get into the medical field and want to become doctors. And I see somewhere they move towards B pharma and all of this. So how is this connected? The fields, how are they connected?
So the fields basically, these are all interconnected. First of all of us, when we have started our college, we all had a dream of becoming a doctor or an engineer, or an architect or pilot, something like that. So I had a dream of becoming a doctor, although I mean also my father also wanted me to become a doctor. But I was an average student throughout my schooling as well as in college days, so couldn't get the merits which was required to enter into a degree called mbbs, basically. Although I was getting something like a dental or something like that, homeopathic or ayurvedic, but I did not go for it. I did try it twice, the CET, the common entrance test, but couldn't get the required percentile to get into the MBBS thing. But also I was also, as rightly you have said also, okay, who have not become doctor, they get into pharmacies, B pharmacy or D pharmacies. So that is how I also thought about to get into B pharmacy. But the requirement that time was different. I needed a job to support the family, so I entered into this sales profession into pharmaceutical. So these are all interrelated, because as a sales profession in pharmaceutical industry, we need to meet doctors as such, because we need to explain them about our products, the brands, and how it can help the patients. So that's how it is related. And then when the doctor prescribes it, the patient gets benefited through a pharmacist, which is a medical store, like who is working in a medical store. So basically it is all interconnected.
Hmm. And as a science graduate, right now, a lot of people finish their science, and then, as you rightly said, maybe if not medical, get into pharma, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but we see the trend is most of the pharma students now getting into sales, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are into selling. So, are there any other options as well when somebody finishes like B pharma or D pharma? Apart from
Mm-hmm.
sales, are there any other fields that these people can explore in the medical field?
So after doing the graduation,
Yeah, after
so
doing graduation, like what are
so
the options?
as
Can they do masters and get into something else apart from sales?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, they can do masters like the MSc, and they can get into something like, an R&D thing, or into a production thing of pharmaceuticals or chemicals, something like that. Or like if they are not keen to go into a hardcore science, they can move into masters of like the MBAs, or something like that, so that they can get into business. They can become like something like HR, or maybe into the brand management, product management, finance manager, something like that. So the options are quite very much open after doing the graduation. But a basic thing required is, you need to have a clarity, because what I liked that time is the clarity. And so I could not have the multiple options which are there right now in front of all of us, because of many things, especially the internet, which is showing a good way to the students, to what exactly they want to do, and what all things are there available. So many things are there.
Right. And again, like B Pharma, D Pharma students, these people getting into sales, right? So how is it like structured in terms of in B Pharma? Do people learn sales because they get into directly as a medical sales rep and they have to now start selling? So how is it like? What do you actually learn in B Pharma, and how somebody is like when they enter? What happens in this industry? Like how you can convert yourself into a sales professional?
So after doing a graduation, or maybe B Pharma or MBA, one needs a basic skill set of selling, because it is required throughout their careers, whatever field they are in, or like whatever we are doing, we all require a basic skill called sales. So it is not taught in the colleges or in the schools, the sales thing. Maybe it is taught in MBA, because I've not done the MBA, but I suppose, I mean, it is being taught there. But it is actually what how I learned is, I have learned after entering into the pharma sector, where the trainings were conducted for sales. And obviously there are multiple, your colleagues, your managers, they also, like, they when you see them, you get to know about the selling as a skill, and you can learn more from the from the others, as such, not from the classroom setup. So practically it is about learning on the field. And that's how the sales thing is uh, related to all this segment.
Okay. And like how is it structured when you enter as a medical sales rep, right, in the pharma industry? Like, do you go through different trainings? And if yes, what are the kind of trainings that a medical sales rep go through initially?
So initially, when we enter into a pharma company, there's a compulsory training for the products, for the diseases. So and some basic skills, like soft skills, selling skills, something on basic things about, how you can talk to the customers, how you can look good in front of a customer. So these are some sort of, trainings are provided as a compulsory training after joining a pharmaceutical company. And then once you have completed your training, you are allowed to go on the field, and you can meet the customers on the field.
Hmm. And like, what is the typical process like when you are trained on this, right? Now you go to doctors. What we have, like, I'm not from pharma industry, but what I've seen is like go to doctors, the pharma, the medical reps go to doctors, keep waiting for them for hours together, and then they try to pitch something, sell something, and life looks very difficult. Like it's more of a selling, selling, selling than the pharma in terms of learning or doing anything around that. So how is this process like when you approach the doctors and all of this? Can you explain this process of a medical sales rep? What is typically the role of this medical sales rep?
So the role of a medical sales rep is, the one fundamental thing is to generate business for the company through
Mhm.
selling the medicines, through promoting the medicines to the doctors, and then the patients getting benefited through that. So the fundamental role is this. Apart from this, you need to meet a particular set of doctors, like whichever segment you are working for. Like if you are working in a diabetes segment, you need to meet diabetologists, doctors who are seeing the normal patients of who are having diabetes, the physicians, the general practitioners, and then you have to promote them. So you need to meet a particular set of doctors, and you need to meet something like that 10, 12 doctors in a day.
And
So
sorry to pause you here, but how is this meeting done? Like you go randomly and then you meet the doctors, or does your company like support you in terms of they build the database, they talk to you about, okay, these are the doctors, they take the appointment and ask you to go on this day. Like what is the process, typical process?
the typical process is, you have the database from the company, uh, and from that database, everything you need to do it. So fixing an appointment to generating a business, everything in between, you need to do it. Just you have a set of doctors or set of list which is provided, that in a particular area you need to meet these set of doctors only. And that's how, fixing an appointment, meeting them on a particular day or particular time, or maybe visiting them like thrice in a month or twice in a month, to promote your products, to share some clinical studies or maybe some experiences, to engage them with the with the scientific meetings, where a set of doctors get together and they discuss more about difficult cases, how to treat them, or so many things are there. So everything is after like everything is done by a medical sales representative, after getting the list, and you need to work on that particular list. And targets are given, like every sales rep has a particular sales targets, and every month they need to achieve that. You need to along with the doctors, you need to meet the chemists also, to see the medical stores, to see the how the products are moving. You need to see what all things you can do better, so that your products can be moved faster than the competitors. So apart from that, you need to meet the stockist also. So one, twice, thrice in a month, stockists who cater to the medical stores. So from there you can have the primary source of business. That's how your targets are calculated. So these are the channel partners, like the doctors, the medical stores, as well as the distributors, the stockists. And that's how it is being done since ages, in this particular segment.
Okay. And like, why would doctor like go ahead with whatever you have suggested for him as a medical rep, right? What is the criteria as doctors look when they have to talk to you, or they have to like allow your products to be given to those customers, like or the patients?
So first of all, what I uh, think is, the doctors look at the trust in the brand, especially in the company, especially because it is a matter of safety. And that is how it needs to be done. You need to have a trust in that particular company or the brand, so that you can prescribe it to multiple patients and they can be benefited. And along with that, a doctor also looks for the a good rapport with the company or the sales rep, where is meeting him since very a long time, or maybe is meeting him very regularly, providing value in his practice. And that's how the rapport is built. And other than that, doctor also looks for like the service part also, like how the patients are getting benefited. I mean, if the medicines are not available everywhere, the patient needs to suffer and they need to move to different medical stores to search for the medicines. So that is how a rep plays a very important role to make the medicine available in multiple medical stores, so that no patients suffer for finding the medicine especially. So that's how everything is looked into when giving a business to a particular company. So doctors especially, they do give business when they have a good rapport with the company and as well as the medical rep.
So does that mean like the medical rep now has to have a good rapport with the doctor? Only then you would find, okay, find the value there in terms of they will allow you to actually sell your products or
So
promote
that's
your
how,
product.
yeah. So that's how, very rightly you have said that you need to develop a good rapport, because nowadays there are so many companies out there, and a particular company has so many representatives of various divisions meeting a single customer on daily basis. So doctors cannot find so much of time, after finishing the OPDs. They cannot find so much of time to meet 30 40 representatives waiting outside and to meet all of them. So if you have a good rapport, they actually interact with you, when you stand out from the crowd. They actually interact with you, and then it becomes a practice, that I mean, a business rapport is built like that. When you interact more often with the doctor, and the doctor is keen to actually give you a business.
But how do you build that rapport? Like, see, one thing, like as a visitor, I might have witnessed this. Like, there are so many sales reps that keep coming, and doctors also keep getting irritated. Like, because there are patients waiting, there are these sales reps waiting. So, do you keep going to the doctor again and again, or how do you build that rapport?
So I would like to share my strategy in building rapport with the doctors, because when I started my career in this field, one of my manager has told me, like, the previous medical rep who used to work here in place of you, he has worked so hard. Now he is into other company, promoting the same molecule. So you have a good competition out there. So he was like, actually, the previous colleague of mine who is now working in a competitor company, has worked in, like, for more than 5 years, for promoting like the same products. So 5 years of rapport, you know with the doctors. If you can calculate, if I have calculated, that time was around about 120 visits in 5 years. So my manager has told me, like, he has made so many visits. And now you need to, in 1 year, you need to make so many visits so that your face gets familiar with the doctor, and you built a good rapport with the doctor. So what I did was, uh, apart from meeting on a normal, regular call, so I used to meet them in multiple meetings, wherever the meetings were happening. Or maybe, like, as I have worked in Mumbai, South Mumbai especially. Most of the doctors were residing here, so I actually knew about their routines, basically, like the joggings, the walk routines. So that's how, I used to go and meet them out there, in the not in as such for product promotion, but just to say hi, hello. And that's how I have created good rapport with some of the doctors. uh, like this, some of them I used to go there for something, or like other things, to meet them. And that's how, the 120 visits who the previous colleague have done in 5 years, I have made in 1 year or 2 years, maybe, like, so that's how I have built a rapport with some of the customers, and that's how I have grown in this field and got a good business out there. So the recognition was also that's how the companies have recognized me as a salesperson.
I think that's really good. And whatever you said, I think very interesting here that since you worked in a particular part of Mumbai, South Mumbai, and you, first of all, you saw your customers and you started understanding the schedule of the customers, like the daily routines, where are they going, what are they doing, right? I think this is a very good strategy for any salesperson where understand them. And then you said you used to not only meet in their clinics, you used to go for wherever they are going for morning jog, maybe go there, say hi, hello, whatever, and also in events, try to meet up with them wherever they are going. I think it's a very good strategy. And you also mentioned about not promoting your product. Right. And I think that that
Yes.
makes a lot of sense there. Like instead of promoting your product, you're just talking to them on a regular basis.
Yeah, it is my mind was always it was very much clear, like I need to build a rapport, and from that rapport I can build up on my business. So that's how, even after not asking for the business, the doctors were giving the business. Whenever there is a huge competition out there, I was asking them for business, but still when the competition was not very much active, so I was getting the business because of this particular one thing of rapport building with the customers. And you cannot ask business in a non-professional setup. That doesn't look good, uh, even in front of the doctors, or maybe like even the public is looking. You cannot do a business talk in a non-professional setup. So that's how they have also recognized it, that this particular uh, person is not uh, just for the business, but it is there to add value and something like that.
Yeah, I think this tip applies for all the industries, right? In the non-professional setup, don't try to sell, right? Some of us do that in terms of we become too salesy, right? And when you are desperate and when you are pushing sales, people don't see the value, right? And you rightly said here, like add value. And when you add value, people will always come back to you and they want to help you in their own ways. And that is what I think worked in your case as well.
Yes, very much true. So I would also like to share a few things here. Previously it was very much easy to do such things, such kind of things, like to meet the doctors outside somewhere, uh, wherever. Nowadays, because of the COVID and pandemic, everybody is into digital. So nowadays it is becoming very much easier to connect with the doctors to on the digital platforms, and especially the social media. And most of the doctors are there on the social media. uh, the reps out there can create a huge value, particularly because everything is right now digital, and the tool is very much in our hand, can be used in many things, from building rapport to generating business. So everything is there in your hand.
Yeah. So you said a very good point here about you can connect now on social media. Doctors are also there, but how do you add value to doctors now through social media or online connections or whatever? After building the connections, how can you as a sales rep, right, can add value to doctors so that they can still like go ahead with your products whenever there is a time they help you in your businesses?
So as such, you can add value. There are multiple things, like from creating awareness about a particular disease. I used to work in a majorly I worked in a segment called dermatology, which is skin doctor, skin specialist. So most of the doctors, they do also share the awareness things, but as a rep also, you have to ask some of the questions, so that the patient pool out there who is following a particular set of doctors, who wants to ask a particular question, not a product related question but a disease related question, which can be benefited to the patients. If you ask something like that, if you can ask a intelligent question out there in the doctor's social media comment section, the people are looking out there for something, and that's how the doctor will respond to you, obviously. And then the response as well as the questions will help the doctor to get the patient, and that's how the connection is built basically. So there are so many things out there. You can have like the interaction we are doing right now here. A rep can also do something like that, for 15 minutes on awareness on his personal profile, not a company's profile. That's how you can build an interview thing like that. Or so many things out there. Any rep can explore the social media, and that's how the next generation strategies which I am working on. It is more like this, to give them a platform so that the rapport is built fast, and the customer is getting connected very well to the sales rep. And from there you can add, you can add value to the multiple set of customers, your channel partners, many things you can do online.
Yeah, good point here. And I would agree with the point that you said, like, instead of talking about your product, talk about the problems of the patients and help doctors to create that visibility in the marketplace, right? So that they can
Yes.
connect with more patients and they also get a lot of business. Now, one thing is, when you are helping doctors and you are actually helping them grow, your business is growing. But the other side is when you go to doctors and then the doctors like keep you wait, and sometimes they don't even talk to you, they reject you. How is that feeling? And how do you handle those kind of rejections?
So that feeling is very much not acceptable when you start your career. But down the line, when you are there for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, it is very much a part of the job, because obviously you are used to it. Doctors rejecting the call, refusing the call, not talking to you, or but you have a pressure from the company's side that you need to make 10 12 calls in a day. You need to meet 5 to 6 medical stores in a day. You need to take the orders from the medical stores or from the doctors or from the distributors. So there is a pressure on one side, but here there is a different kind of pressure of handling the fear of refusal or the rejection.
Rejection.
So that is how in these two pressures, from the company side as well as from the doctor's side, the medical rep is mostly is becoming very much stressed nowadays, because of these two things. And because of that stress, the productivity is going significantly down. And that's how the mindset change is very much required. So I have seen so many reps out there who are very much stressed, from working from uh, morning 9 o'clock till 11 in the night. And when they reach home, it is already the next day. So they are obviously not happy to work like this. They're not giving I mean, they're not able to give the time to the family, not to the health. So our basically challenges are there about our food also, because we are mostly on the field for more than 8 to 10 hours. And between the lunch time or maybe the dinner time, there are calls there. So we cannot get our time, lunch time, dinner time, on the time. So that is how the stress is getting increased day by day. uh, and there is one more thing out here is, because why it is happening is, there are so many companies out there and competing with each other. There are newer companies being launched every years for promoting the similar molecules. Uh, I mean, many a times there are brand names are also similar, not the same but similar. So you need to have something which is very much differentiating, and that a rep can make in this particular segment. A medical rep can make a differentiating factor in this segment.
Hmm. And what plays an important role? You spoke about, like, yeah, rejections keep coming and you get used to it, and that is how you need to build your mental strength and all of that. Now, what role does mindset play in the medical sales rep career?
It is very much important, I would say. The one thing every medical rep should work upon is the mindset. The first of all, you need to build that mindset of like what I need to do, you know, because everybody wants to grow in life. Somebody needs promotion, somebody needs to have a good financial security over a long period of time. Somebody needs to switch to some other role, uh, whatever they are looking for. You need to have first of all the clarity, and when the clarity is there in your mind, then you need to build upon that. So what I like that time is the clarity. because I did not know like what I wanted to do. I just wanted to have a good financial security because of the situations at home. uh, so I was mostly building my mindset over or I was basically working on this clarity of financial security. So that's how I have worked throughout my career. So
Hmm.
because of the I wanted to have financial security, I wanted to create wealth to support my family. So that's how I have worked on my performance, got a good incentives and all, and that's how with this sort of money coming in, I invested, reinvested, and that's how I have built my thing over these 14 years of career in the sales, a basic rep level role.
Right. Yeah, and you said performance, and you had a financial need, and all of that, which actually pushed you to work hard, right? And I remember when we were talking earlier, you were talking about how you were able to like financially grow very fast in this field, right? And if I have to ask you, like, typically, how much money did you make, or what was your last salary along with your incentives when you quit your job,
Okay,
if you are
so
comfortable?
so I would say on an average, since the last 5 years, I have made like on an average 20 lakhs per year. So on an average, so sometimes it was more, sometimes it was below 20 years. So along with the incentives and all. So that is how and this is from the job segment, or maybe uh, the work profile I was working, because the incentives were huge. Not every company afford to give the huge incentives and all. But I have also worked upon the creation of passive income sources along with that, because my mindset was very much clear. So everybody, every rep out there, who is watching this, or who will watch in the on YouTube later on, they will also need to think about is what is actually required, what exactly you need to do in the future. Whether you want a promotion, whether you want a financial growth so that you can start your entrepreneurship journey, whether you want to grow parallelly, go into some other role and explore the options out there. So many options available, when as a rep, which can look when one needs to have a clear understanding, and that has actually uh, came very late in my career. So initially I was not very much clear, but I had this thing in my mind. So I have learned from multiple things, from the colleagues, from the managers, from the doctors, from the distributors, how they are generating money, generating wealth. So that's how I have learned from them. But the one thing I will share here is, whatever you need to do, you need to ask somebody who is out there, who is doing things since a very long time. You need to go and ask him. You don't need to feel shy about it, because this is the time is going very much fast. And what I think is, this is the time where survival of the fittest is very much required than the previous times, because everybody is moving at a pace of a good pace basically. And if you are like kept behind, you will be kept behind for a long time. So you need to go and ask out there. People are out there to help you. You need to go and ask somebody who is there out there and who can add value, who can help you to grow in your life, in your finance. So there are so many things out there, people need to explore it.
Yeah, great. And what is the typical career path of any medical rep? Like example, you do your B Pharma, right? You get into a company as a medical rep. How is the career growth defined here in your field?
So as a basic career growth here is, from a medical representative, one can grow as a area manager, or maybe a first line manager, who is there, who has reportees, like medical reps. 3 to 4 medical reps would be there reporting to a area manager. uh, from area manager he can grow to a regional manager who is like second line manager. So the multiple area manager will report to the regional manager. From that, a third line manager like a sales manager would be there, or maybe a zonal sales manager would be there. So they all will be reporting to the sales hierarchy of zonal manager or sales manager, to a business head, and ultimately to the general manager or the vice president or the director of the company.
Hmm.
So that's how
And
the career path is. So if I I would I would like to say a rep to a general manager position, it would take around maybe 20 years or maybe 25 years. So that's how it is being calculated. So 5 years or maybe 4 years every role you need to perform, as well as you need to prove yourself to the organization that you're worth of getting a promotion.
but how can somebody fast track their growth? If somebody has to fast track the growth, right? And somebody wants to like financially also grow very well in this industry, like
Mhm.
what is that they can do?
So first of all, anyone, not only the medical rep, but anyone who is out there wants to grow or fast track their career, they need to have a clear understanding of what role they need to have, maybe in 1 year or 2 years down the line. And that role they need to have, like, they need to show to the company or to the organization that they are fit to that role. So you need to give the performance, you need to have that sort of the language of that role. You need to speak that language as well as you need to show your what I say is you need to show to the organization, like, what can you do in, like, into the goal. Because nowadays what is happening is people are not showing, because everybody is scared of getting asked, or like they're getting multiple questions from the top management. So nobody wants to show them, or so one needs to have the clarity, like, I need to become an area manager. So if what area manager does, what is the roles and responsibility, and if he has the roles and responsibility, he needs to work on the roles and responsibility on day to day basis, so that he is recognized by the organization, as well as he needs to work upon his soft skills, as well as his influence over the team. So that is how it is, one can fast track the career from the basic level to the first line or second line.
Interesting. And you also spoke about in the beginning, you spoke about when you joined this job, it was more also because you don't have to actually be reporting in the office, right? And then you can like stay at home, directly go to the customer place and all. So, what role does like self discipline or schedule play in your organization, or in terms of like if a sales rep has to grow? Because there might be people who will be like, okay, go to the doctor, may visit, may not visit, go back home, sleep, and all of that, right? What role does discipline play in this particular this one medical sales career?
Discipline plays a very important role, especially because as I said, the time schedule is not very much fixed. One need not go to the office to report to their manager. So everything is on phone, or maybe on the digital thing on the computer, or maybe on iPad. So one need not go to the office and thing. But if one is having a discipline, especially on the time front, one can have a good health wise also. One can do exercises in the morning, or have a good morning routines, or morning uh, things in the morning, as well as, and then the energy is also being generated in the morning, so that he can work throughout the day and can sleep early also. So that's how the it is very much required to have a time discipline. What I liked earlier in my career was this particular thing of time discipline, because I used to go late on the field, because the calls were very much later in the day. So I used to go late on the field, and I used to suffer because I used to go on the field late. So initially, I did not have the bike to travel to the doctor's clinic. So I used to take the public transport, and that's how stress got multiplied, because I need to catch the bus or maybe the train, and I need to go there. If the doctor is left, the call will be gone, and that's how the stress is built up. And when the stress is built up, you cannot do your sales call properly, because once you are there in front of the doctor, you need to be there actively present in front of him, and you need to have that sort of clarity, what exactly I need to talk to the doctor, what exactly things I need to show. But that time I was because of this particular thing, not managing my time or not having a time discipline, I used to show things which were not related to the business, or like I did not focus on the business generation at that time. But I have learned this thing from my seniors or from my managers or from the colleagues out there or competitors out there. It's like how it is being done. And that's how the time management plays a very important role in reducing the stress, as well as managing your family time, your health time very effectively.
And you said right now, you said that initially you did not even have a bike and you used to travel in like public transport. And today you already have a house in Mumbai. You have been able to like travel multiple places, right? And you are sufficiently like financially well off today. Like what worked for you in terms of financially growing so fast? Like what helped you in your success? If you have to talk about the key thing.
The key thing is, the first thing I have already talked about is the clarity. I wanted the financial growth. I wanted, because I had this urgency of providing, supporting the family, because my father used to like he was not well since you know. Since 2014, 13 14, he was not well. Every year he needed hospitalization, sometimes ventilators, every year basically, because he was suffering from COPD. So the cost of hospitalization is very much huge and is everywhere out there. And that is how I felt that urgency, that I need to have the financial security out there to support the family, to at least provide the emergency funds. So that's how I have built upon uh, my mindset of. And that then I began to give a good growth in business. When you perform well, you can earn good incentives out there. When you are above 100%, 120%, 130%, you get good incentives, and then incentives and the salary, because my overall the cost was not very much for myself, or it was so incentives and all, I used to save and I used to invest. So I took the risk of investments earlier in my life, because nobody taught me, but I wanted to do something, so I took that risk and I learned about uh, stock market investings, and exploring businesses. So I worked up, not worked, but actually invested in the businesses, like a juice center or maybe a snack center. So like that, I have built upon things step by step. Uh, Very recently, s- thought of starting a business of medical tourism, but because of COVID and all, it went off. But I had a plan of doing things. So now I am helping some of the businesses to grow, like by closing their high ticket products and all. So that is how I was constantly evolving throughout my career as well as my life, because of the urgency I had. So one thing I've said, okay, I had clarity, and that's on that clarity I built upon many things. I built upon, I took the risk. I performed well so that I can get money from that incentives and all, and then I can roll that money so that I'm financially secured down the line.
Great, great. Awesome. That's awesome. And as you rightly said, I think clarity is very important because you need to be very clear of what you want. And I think you also spoke about performance, that you were giving like full performance, like 120, 130, 150%, so that you can also earn that kind of bonus. But one thing that I can pick up from whatever you have said is the burning desire. You said urgency. You created that urgency for yourself. A lot of
Yes.
people have skills, right, but they don't grow because they don't have the sense of urgency, they don't have that burning desire to grow, right? And I think whatever the burning desire and the urgency, it help you to grow fast and become financially like very confident today at whatever stage you are. And people who are listening, I want this message to be very clear that it's not your like whatever skills that you have, it is also about the sense of urgency and the burning desire that you need to have. Like if you want to achieve something, you need to be very clear and you need to put your heart and soul into that. So that will help you to grow in any role. It's not just like a medical sales rep, any role you are into like a job or a business or whatever, that burning desire can help you to grow faster. So I think this is really good. And Sakib, what role does medical stores play in this? Right, one is you are building a rapport with the doctors. Now there is a medical store or a pharma critical company or the other like pharmacies which are next to the doctor's place and all of that. So how is like what is the role of you as a medical rep like with the medical stores? How is this connection built?
So this particular medical stores as a retail store is plays a very important role in helping you to liquidate your primary stocks out there at a distributor level. So you need to have that sort of business coming from that doctor. It is all interconnected, as I've said earlier also. It is all interconnected. Whenever doctor gives you business, a medical store get a business from the patients, and once the stock is bought from by the customers or by the consumers like the patients, uh, the medical store gives the order to a particular distributor. So as a rep, one needs to have a total control on your distributor, medical store, as well as on the doctor, so that you can track your business properly. That's how you grow on your business. If you're not in control of your business, somebody else, or maybe a distributor who is not attached to you or not related to you, who will come and take the orders from that medical store. So one needs to have a good control over these three channel partners to grow in the business. If somebody is not there, not having a control on these three sets, so then it becomes very difficult to track the business. And once you're not tracking the business, then you cannot grow.
Tracking of business is very important. And you said control of three channel partners, you said, right? One is the doctors, the other one is like
The
the
medical
medical
stores
stores.
and the wholesaler, the distributor.
Oh, and then the distributor.
Yeah,
That is very
because
important.
he is ultimately going to supply to the medical store once the business is generated.
And what role does brands play here? Like when a doctor has to recommend somebody, some medicine or some product that you have, right? What role does brand play? Like, do doctors recommend only brands, or how do you promote your business if your brand is not the toppest brand?
Uh, so that's how if the even if the brand is very much new, but the company is there since very long time, the trust is already there from the company. But even a company is new, the brand is new, so then one needs to have a proper documentation of the product, especially the clinical trials conducted. So that's how one can build a good trust with the doctors over the brand. One needs to have a good safety profile, efficacy profile, the compliance thing. So that's how a doctor gets or the doctors have the trust on that particular brand from a newer company, and that when they try it in the patients, in some of the patients initially, and when they come back with a good response or good results, and that's how the trust is built. So this particular thing, a brand thing, is very much required. uh, Obviously the companies who are there since very long time in the market, and they bring any brand, the doctors have an inbuilt trust over them. But a newer company brings a brand, one needs to have the things which I've said, like the clinical trials, the safety profiles, everything one needs to have it very much handy. And this particular thing is a medical rep, one needs to understand is one needs to have a complete understanding about this clinical trials, everything related to the brand, which is, which will help in building the trust with the doctors. So a medical rep plays a very important role in building the trust of the brands with the doctors.
Good. And now we have had a very good discussion so far about how people can grow in the industry as a medical sales rep. Now, if we have to conclude and if you have to like give some parting words, like what would be your advice to the audience?
So would not be an advice, because I have taken, like, many people have given me advice in my career, but I have not worked upon it. But when I have actually tried my level best, and when I felt that burning desire from inside, I have took a specific advice from a specific person and worked upon it. And although, the time, energy, and money which I have invested in myself, it is very much required when you have the urgency or the burning desire. So first of all, my suggestion to all who will be listening or who are listening to this show right now is to have a goal at least in your life. You need to have a short term, long term, or mid term, long term goals, so that on that goal, you need to build whatever you need to go, like you need to have a goal, and then you need to plan to achieve that goal, and one needs to have a good plan. I was actually talking a few days back to my friends, and I was talking about a plan thing only. So one needs to have a plan, like we were talking about the Money Heist show, the series, and that's how they were discussing that the plan is built so good. So I interrupted them, and when I have said that, okay, one needs to have a plan like that professor in the Money Heist to achieve their goals. Whenever there is any shortcomings in the plan, one needs to have a plan B or plan C ready with them. And that's how, whether you want to grow in your career, whether you want to be financially secured over a long period of time, whether you want to do anything, travel the world, so you need to have a plan. And on that plan, you need to act, and you need to invest your time, energy, and money to achieve that goal. So that
Great.
is how
Yeah.
I explained to the audience earlier.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And I think it was wonderful understanding about the pharma industry and the career path, and also how can somebody grow fast in their careers. So thank you for your valuable advices. And along with that last piece of advice that you gave about you need to have a plan, because until unless you don't have a plan, a strategy to work on, then you will not be able to like build your goals and start taking actions and get or achieve whatever you want in your life. So great. Thank you, Sakib, for being with us. And thanks to the audience who have been watching us and who will be watching us later on the recording. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
And
you so
once
much.
again, thank you, Sakib, for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, and it is a wonderful show, and it is helping so many people out there. Uh, it is, I mean, all thanks to you, Fatah, that you are doing a wonderful job out there and creating value in this particular segment of career.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Sakib.
much.
And thanks, everybody, again. And stay tuned on Dream Career Talk Show, because we are going to bring more industry experts who are going to talk about different careers and who are going to talk about their experiences and going to share important tips on how you can actually grow and grow fast in your career and how you can build your dream careers as well. So stay tuned. And until then, until the next episode, take care. Have a great day. Have a good night. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.